lamb chops from a grass-fed butcher. I've already washed my hands. Nice thick cut lamb chops. I put together some kebabs. I want to serve this over a arugula and spinach salad. I'm going to make a nice Greek vinaigrette to go on top of that, just for a nice light meal in the summertime. We're all watching our figures, right? All right, so let's get started. First thing I want to do is I'm going to rough chop some fresh rosemary, right? And sprinkle that sporadically onto the lamb chops. Flip them over. A little more. A little salt and pepper. Love pepper, it gives it that nice little kick. And a lot of times people are uncomfortable with the gamey taste of lamb, so they prefer steak to lamb. But I like lamb because it's a lot more lean than some cuts of steak. Excuse me. And the taste is a little different, but just as enjoyable if you ask me. Lamb would probably be my, it's a tie between steak and lamb. I love them both so much. Total carnivore here. So now, to your liking, me a lot, for you, however much you like. I'm gonna add some garlic along with that salt and pepper. Of course, to both sides. It's just easier to do with my hands, and they're, like I said, they're clean. Just easier to do. Always wash off your ingredients too if you've been handling them as I am. So garlic on that side. And one thing that I like, it adds a nice little hint of flavor to the meat, is I love a bit of ground sage. Sage is, to me, is that herb that really just shines when you add it to turkey or chicken, and definitely lamb. Not so much steak, unless it's a recipe that calls for it, but just as good. Give that one more flip over. Look. A little more sage. And I've already taken some olive oil and heated up our grill. So I'm gonna get you a little closer. Give me 1 second. All right, so we've got our griddle pan nice and hot. As you can see, I've got some already cook marks on there, like a good skillet that just adds a little flavor. We love that. I'm actually just gonna turn part of this heat down a bit because this is the side for my kebabs that'll be going on shortly. But I wanted to get the lamb on first because I'm gonna finish it in the oven. So let's just add, you want that nice sear. I wouldn't mind if it was even a little higher, so it'll turn up in a second. But you want that sizzle, you want to hear that. And how I like to arrange them is meat to stem, meat to stem. You get them on there, they're a lot easier to flip that way. Oh yeah, that already smells amazing. Come on in, take a look. Have a look at this meat. Look at that. Look at that good caramelization on there. Oh, that's going to be so good. You see that? Almost like it's on the grill outside. Almost like it's on the grill outside. Look at that juicy deliciousness. Now, my next step is I like to open this nice oven that I've preheated to 325. And I like to let it finish off. Unless you like your lamb a little more on the medium rare side, I like to put it in the oven to just let it finish off on the inside. So I like mine's a bit of a medium. I like it to be just a little pink, but still soft. You know, on the inside, I don't like it too tough. So now that it's in the oven, my next phase is stay tuned. I'm gonna make that delicious arugula and spinach Mediterranean salad to go with our delicious garlic lamb. So now we're gonna make our delicious Mediterranean salad that's gonna go with our lamb chops that are just kind of resting in the oven and also still cooking a little bit just so they get to that nice texture we're looking for and not too bloody or pink in the middle. So we're gonna quickly make this salad so we don't overcook our lamb. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut 1/4 of an onion, right? So we can just set that aside. So we only need about this much right here. Now, just a heads up, I normally like making this salad with a purple onion, but the reason why I can't is I just read something that said that purple onions are on a recall for salmonella, and so I didn't want to play with that and risk it. So here we are. Now, this yellow onion will be an okay substitute. So I tend to rough chop everything because I'm not on Iron Chef. So just want to get it down to a size that wouldn't be inedible because it's too big and you don't want like just a huge chunk of onion in your mouth. Ooh, that one decided to leave the party early. That's okay. There's plenty more where that came from. And of course, we've got our wine. That always makes everything better. Today I'm enjoying a delicious bottle of rosé from Paris, or at least that's what the bottle said, but whatever. So I'm gonna put my onions aside in this bowl here, which I'm also gonna mix some other delicious veggies. Next thing I want to chop up nice and fine, and people have mixed feelings about is these pitted olives here. Which ones are these? The Kalamata olives. They're big in the Mediterranean and in Spain, even though Spanish olives are delicious in Spain as well. But this recipe calls for the nice juicy purple Mediterranean Kalamata olives. So I say if you're feeding 2 or 3 people, about 8 olives, because I use this mostly for the saltiness, considering I don't put a lot of salt in my homemade dressing, which will be a Greek vinaigrette that we're going to use on this. So just 2 more olives will be good. That's good right there. Extra if you're into that. So I'm just gonna add these roughly chopped olives here to where my onions are. That's nice and, there we go. Let's mix those up. Let's add a little garlic. Just 1 cube is good. We don't want to overpower it. And I also add a little sprinkle of garlic powder. So what you don't get with the fresh garlic, you'll get with the garlic powder in the dressing. It's always that skin. It's a little difficult to peel off, so bear with me. Give it a little crush, get all that juicy garlic flavor out to add. And I'm gonna set that garlic aside for the dressing, because that doesn't go into the mix for the actual salad. This is for the dressing. So, I like to use the back of the knife to kind of pick up small pieces of perishables or a little tomato. Let's cut this tomato open. I don't like too much of the mushiness of the tomato on the inside, so I normally kind of carve some of that out so that the tomato, we get that tight skin on the outside. Who doesn't love tight skin, right? So I'm just going to give this tomato a quick slice. I'm just working with kind of half of it. I don't need a whole lot of tomato. I don't want that to overpower the salad either. Sometimes too much of that citrus taste can be overpowering. We want to get all that delicious flavor of everything in there, right? So give this tomato just a nice rough chop. And we're going to add that to our olives and tomatoes and onions. This other half of the tomato I'm going to set aside for something else, maybe a nice spinach and tomato omelet tomorrow morning, who knows. And I'm just going to get rid of some of this compost for a second and rinse off my chopping board, because now it's time to make dressing. I'll be right back. Let's get this dressing going. And the first thing we want to do, we got a nice measuring cup. We're going to do a 1/4 of a cup, or a little less than, of olive oil. Boom, good enough. All right. Oops, wrong top. That's that drunk shit. Okay. All right. So one thing that I did not take out was the red wine vinegar. You're going to need that. So I like to just take the cap, because a capful is just enough for a salad for 2. So let's add a little red wine vinegar, maybe just a little skosh more. Boom, that's good to go right there. That's going to give it that nice zing you get when you're having a delicious dressing that's fresh. We've already got our little bit of chopped garlic in the bowl, so that's good. We're going to add these 2 ingredients to that bowl, like so. And we've got some dry oregano. Let's just give that a little shake. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. Okay. Now remember, I said a little extra touch of garlic powder, so I like to add that in there. Just maybe like 2 little shakes, like that. A little black pepper, or maybe a little more. I like a little kick. And a teaspoon of salt, maybe a little less, because I'm also going to add some lemon. Yeah, that's about it. That looked like cocaine. All right, some fresh squeezed lemon juice. Half a lemon is just fine. And we're going to give that a little mix up, mix it up, mix it up. Looking like dressing already. You know what? I feel a little more comfortable with just a little more olive oil. You can never go wrong with EVOO, right? And now our special ingredient is feta cheese, which I'll be adding some in the dressing and then a little more on top of the salad. So let's get a couple good chunks in there, some crumbs. Mix that up. Cool. And let's just give this a whip around, almost like you're trying to beat 2 or 3 eggs. It's a really cheesy dressing, but I love cheese, and the greens that we're using, spinach and arugula, it could really stand up to this kind of a dressing. So it's going to be delicious. I like to, almost as if I was making a cocktail, just take a little bit like that and put it on the back of my hand. Oh, that tastes like we're in Greece. That's delicious. You're not ready for that. So, my friend is here who we will be sharing this delicious meal with. And he was kind enough to bring a cucumber, which I've already cut up. But when I come back, it'll be time to assemble the salad and then add our lamb. We'll be right back. I have to serve things family style because it just makes you feel good that it looks like it's prepared for a family opposed to individual plates, which I don't mind doing, but I think this particular meal serves better when it's that way. So I've got my greens all plated. Got some for that spinach and tomato with eggs in the morning. And we've got our cucumbers here. So let's just take those and sprinkle them all over our salad here. Like so, like so. Wonderful. And we've got our tomatoes, onions, and olive mix here. So now we're going to take and just sprinkle that all over. Oh, this is going to be hearty and delicious. Oh, that's delicious right there. Now we can add our homemade dressing. We'll just give that a little one-time stir. And I don't like to add all the dressing just in case someone like myself likes a little extra dressing on my particular plate, but I don't want to drown everybody else's if that's not your thing. So I'm just going to spoon a little out at first, like this. Let that delicious olive oil, vinegar, oregano taste go over all the greens here. Delicious. Oh, that looks so good. I cannot wait to eat. Lamb in the oven, set to go, ready to come out and be added. Oh yeah, I wish you guys could smell this. It is garlicky, delicious, and ready to be served. So now, just for plating reasons, we just want to add those delicious lamb chops. We'll do that one like that. Yeah. Right to this salad. So everybody can just get what they want, whichever ones you want. And we've got a few extra there. Add these grilled veggies right to the sides. We'll just move that in. We'll run for the other veggies, just like that. And voila, we've got us a Mediterranean feast with a little extras on the side, but for plating reasons, we're all done. Now, I can enjoy the rest of my wine and enjoy this feast with a friend. Cheers. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed helping me cook this meal, and stay tuned for other recipes with DIY Jakai. Thanks again. Subscribe, share. Thanks. Bye-bye. Good night.